Alrighty folks, so working on our Biscayne today. Got our glass coats as you can see. So getting ready to take these headlight bezels and all this good stuff off and try and get back to this ballast panel down here. That ballast panel I want to try and get to and get it off and get it out of the way. Try to get this front clip back off here so we can install our radiator support. And I also want to get in here and clean the frame up a little bit and come in here with cut-off wheel and cut these top of these shock mounts off so we can just drop them out through the coil spring. I figured, you know, we're already going to have the front clip off. Why not go in here and cut them off? So we'll get them out of the way. And then I'm going to take all the brake lines off this thing. And we're not, you know, just tossing stuff off of it. I'm just trying to do it now while we got everything apart and we can get to everything. So I can kind of figure out what's what on it and kind of mock a few things up. And I was thinking I had an extra spare dual master cylinder for this car, but I'm not 100% on it. But I'll have to look for one. But like I said, I like these old single master cylinders. I do. I ain't got nothing against them, but you know, it's just a safety thing. That's why I always put dual master cylinders on, because it makes the car a lot safer. So make a nice wall hanger right there. Old Earl there, he probably look on the shelf and see a single master cylinder there and be like, yeah, I remember that. I remember when that thing went out on me and the car rolled down the hill. Yep, remember that. I'm just making up names here. But anyway, so I will get to it. We go get these headlight bezels, get all this off, and then tell you what, it's gonna be nice because get all this stuff out of the way. But I'll tell you what's really amazing is these screws here are actually coming off. Now the bracket's rotted back here, so it's spinning. But it's kind of amazing that this stuff is actually coming off there. There's one. I knew it was one in there. The screws are actually coming out. That's kind of crazy. Let's try this. Well, looky there. Look at that. That's just amazing. I didn't do anything to it either. That's crazy. Why am I taking the top turn signal lights out? Because I want to take these fenders and everything down to bare metal. We got to fix some rust issues. So I'm going to have to grab a bag here so we don't lose all our bolts and screws, even though I'm probably going to replace them anyway. But might have to get me a sandwich bag and put all this stuff in the bag so we don't lose everything. A buddy of mine actually gave me a nice set of these too, but I'm going to use those because, look at that. Okay, so that just pulls out. But yeah, a buddy of mine gave me an extra set of those pieces of trim right there, but I'm not going to use them. I'm going to use those because they're about the same shape. So anyway, so that got that out of the way. Ain't going to worry about that. So I think we're going to be all right. Actually, I think this is still usable. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, it's a little rotted, but it's still usable, so that's good. So we'll go in here and take our time, clean it up, fix a couple of the rust holes in it, clean it up, prime it, paint it, call it good. So when I say fix the rust holes, I mean doing it the proper way, properly. I'm gonna do it the properly way. I'm gonna go in there and cut that rust out and weld some metal back in there. So want it right, and very picky about that stuff because, you know, I like the stuff to done right and not, you know, halfway done. So anyway, so I'm gonna work on this, get this other side out, and get back at it here. So look at that, that's amazing. Look at that. That's crazy. This thing probably pulled right off here. Oh, got one more. I don't want no girl, was it Shrine or Shine or whatever it is. I don't want one of them cars. I like to take the time and fix the stuff right and do it the right way. So that's why I want to go in there and put a little metal back in that turn signal assembly there. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. What is that? A turn signal. Okay. Oh man, it's rough. See, I knew they were in there. I knew it. So we're probably behind. Well, I know they're not in this one, obviously. Nothing there. But they were back up under there. I was fighting them things. So we'll get these out. And I don't want to pull them out because they are T3s. And no, I'm not putting T3s back in here because I'm sure as soon as you plug them back up and you put a battery in it and pull that headlight switch out, I'm sure they'll blow. And rather than do that, they might be fine. But, you know, it's just the way I look at it is they're old or outdated. And, you know, we'll just put a regular set of halogens or whatever in here. So that's what I'm going to do. But anyway, so I'm gonna keep getting this part here, and I gotta pull these plugs off camera because I want to take my time on that. I don't want to break the ears on our T3s here, even though I'm not gonna put them back in the car. But still, though, I save those. So anyway, I'll get this part here. All right, just for my reference and the viewer reference and everything else. There's 3-prong right here. This is the 3-prong here. So make sure the 3-prong is on the outside right there. Make sure the 3-prong is on that side. And then 2-prong goes on the inside. So anyway, just make sure you got them in the correct order there. And figure I'd make a little video there on that. Just make sure they're in the correct order, you know, because you got to have your low beams and high beams in the correct order there. So anyway, I want to show you that. 3-prong to the outside of the car and 2-prong to the inside of the car. Okay, so I want to make this video too. This is a nice original car here, and I want to make sure that I put it back personally. So this is for my reference just as well as the viewers out there. But the turn signal wiring on this turn signal down here, you got these 2 holes back here. The turn signal wiring goes to the back on both sides of the car here, so keep that in mind. And then the other one is just the part of the engine wire harness, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, just want to make sure the turn signal wiring goes in the second hole right here. Okay, for this side is I want to make this just to document this for my own self and help y'all too. Turn signal is on the top, headlights is on the bottom, and I don't know what in the world I was thinking. But the turn signal is back here on the second hole, and headlights is on this first hole. So headlights, turn signal, headlights. So anyway, I wanted to make that little video there, and it's not a big deal to get these little plugs out. You got to be a little careful with them. They are, you know, pretty brittle. But the reason I'm unplugging them too is this wire harness on this car is very, very nice. I'm very shocked. And it looks worse what it is, but it is excellent, excellent. And we got enough there that, you know, it hasn't really been disturbed, that we can duplicate that and be able to recreate the whole wire harness, so that makes it nice. But honestly, this wire harness, you know, I can take the wires and move them all around. They're not crunchy or anything like that, so we'll see. We might reuse this wire harness temporarily, but regardless, this car will get a new wire harness because I want to put the blade type fuses in it, and I want to get away from the glass type fuses because I know one day they're going to be obsolete and you ain't gonna be able to find them nowhere, and that's why I'm gonna put the blade type fuses in it. So you know, this stuff's getting old. It's time to, some of this stuff, you know, it's just time to upgrade. It's just no way around it. But I like to upgrade the fuse panels to the blade type fuses so they're more modern, easier to get. and if something ever happens while you're driving or on a trip or something, you can get them pretty much at any truck stop or, you know, gas station or anything. And then same way with the master cylinder, I like to put a dual master cylinder on it because it's just a safety thing, and this just makes it nice. So we'll probably end up temporarily using our wire harness here, and then we will upgrade it. So I just wanted to document that. But like I said, there's nothing wrong. I love old cars, but a few things, it's just, you might as well just go on and upgrade. Just like the roller camshaft too. You might as well go on and run a roller camshaft, because it's just too many issues with flat tappet cams nowadays, and I just don't want to deal with all the clown work, we'll say. But anyway, that's just me. So I'm gonna get back at it here. Alright, so this car is so original, it's even still got the little tie on there. So that's pretty cool. So somebody tell me if that is indeed original or not, but I'm pretty sure it is, because the driver's side has one too on it. So that's kind of neat. But here, I'll show you that. Yep, there it is right there. There's all the wiring. This wiring is absolutely perfect on this car. Very well preserved. Now, I want to keep in mind the wiring that's missing underneath the here and all that. I unplugged all that. And we still got all our wiring underneath the dash, and I mean, everything is nice. Everything's nothing cut up. Nothing cut up or anything. It makes it nice, and that's all factory. You know, I did not put tape on it. That's actually original. So excellent. So I mean, we even got our dome light wiring on here. So anyway, the point is I'm gonna take my time, take this wire harness apart, so when we remake it, then we can color code it and get the same gauge wire and put it back like as accurate as you possibly can, honestly. But it's a shame, don't want to cut this little strap, but I'm gonna have to cut it, because you're gonna have to cut that in order to get this turn signal free to come off. And then also this little plug right here has to come out. You got to pull all this headlight wiring and everything through that hole down there. So all that's got to come back out. So I kind of messed up on that, so that's not a big deal. I pushed the grommet the wrong way. But that grommet's in there. Yeah, don't push it back. It comes, just pull it straight out, just like this. So, just comes straight out like that, and unplug it, and then it pulls right on through. So this wiring on this car is very simple, very simple. All right, back at it. Okay, got a turn signal off. I cut a little tie right there, not a big deal there. And then all you got to do is I push the plug out the way it's supposed to come out. Is once you get everything unplugged up here, and you push it through the end of the fender there. All I got to do is just fish it on through very gently. Don't pull on it. It comes off just like that. And now, the only thing holding on now is our ground. This is our ground wire for our headlights. And also, if you got dim headlights, also that ground connection, that's a good area to clean up. So we're not going to reuse, like I said, a lot of this hardware on this car we're not going to reuse, like something like that. I mean, come on folks, we can't use something like that. So I'm going to go in here, and we are not cutting this. I'm not cutting it. I know a lot of people would just snip it off. I'm not doing that. I don't want to do that. I want that end. Because like I said, I want to preserve this wire harness. So I'm going to take my time and go in here, and we'll either do one or two things. Either we'll drill that bolt out, or that screw, or we'll just take a cut-off wheel and cut it off. But I do not want to damage that end. So we'll take our time with that. So we kind of had to stand still on this side because, you know, I ain't trying to sound crazy here, but very, very particular about, you know, when you got cars like this that are original like this, they're only original once. And it's good to take your time on this stuff, to document this stuff, so that you can put it back together properly. And it makes it a much better outcome. So now, we'll go and work on this side. So I'm not going to show too much, but same concept, get our turn signal lens and all that out. We just take our wire and push all this through. So you gotta take your time. You can't really just push them through because this stuff is old. So they're a little pliable. They're still pliable actually, luckily. But this one is really good. That one's still squishy. And they're still pretty squishy. So anyway, yeah, I know, right? Yep, still squishy. So anyway, I'm gonna go in here and get the rest of this thing apart here, and let's get her done. Chop, chop, get her done, get her done. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and knock this stuff on out. Be done with it. All right, so gonna go and get this stuff done. That one. It's just amazing how this stuff comes apart here. Pretty amazing here. Nothing holding that. A little screw right there. So, all right, let's get this out next. Got 4 screws on it. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. Gotta get a sandwich bag. Get it off. It's a spring that broke for our headlight. We can get another one, so it's nothing to worry about. Just a spring for our headlight. It broke. Not a big deal. We can get another one. It's to be expected on a 70-year-old car almost. Alright, so now all we got to do is come under here, and we got to get all this stuff out. So we'll go on and get our wire out of the way. Ouch. Okay. That all undone. Looks like we ain't got to cook this side. The little strap broke, but that's good. It's brittle. Yeah, look at that. It's pretty brittle. Anyway. So that broke, we ain't gotta worry about that. And then we'll come in here, pull this out. That. Now, the ground wire is the only thing left. So that's all unplugged. Everything's good there. Things good there. We got 1 bolt I gotta get off. And this should come right on out. Actually, we got 2 of them. Yep. So let me grab something, get them out. I guess they rotted off this side. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Alright, let me show y'all what I'm talking about real quick. Now we'll take a look at this one real quick. Alright, this one has one. It's got 2 little ends right there. One of them broke off. Top one broke off. Supposed to be another one right there. But you got 1 bolt right there too. And you got another one up here. It broke off. So anyway, gotta get them all. Now there's one right there. Right there. Got one right there. So let me get them off. Let me get them off right there. I believe they are either a 3/8 or a 7/16. If I doubt, and we'll get our turn signal and all assembly and all that out of there. And then the only thing that's left is get the 2 grounds off. And then we'll have our headlight wire harness. So, say when you take your time to do this stuff the right way, you could take your original wire harness and you can go get the same gauge wire, figure out what gauge wires these are, and get the same color and the same gauge that's made for our, automotive stuff, and make a whole new wire harness. Just got to make sure it's critical to make sure they're the same gauge. Don't play with that. But anyway, yep, you don't play with your wire in there because it's a fire hazard. It's got to be right, just like your brakes got to be right. So, all right, back at it. Let's get this out. Alrighty, they are 2 7/16 bolts, and you got one that goes right there at the corner there, and you got another one right there that goes right there. And then once you get them out, you can take your turn signal light, and it'll come right on out. I'm just gonna reach up underneath here and just pull it right back out. There we go. Got that out of the way, and now we can set that over here. A little crusty, that's all right. It'll be all right. All right, so now we got all that out of the way. The only thing left is our headlight wiring and getting all that off. I'm gonna have to kind of be careful if I do take these off. Well, I am going to take them off, but I may not take them off right away. But I'm going to have to be careful about that, and I'm going to have to be careful about this trim. And like I've said before, please, if you have that correct trim for this front door, for a 4-door, for a 59 only, let me know. Send it to me. And looking for, I just need this one piece. That's all I'm missing, that one piece. And it might even work from the passenger side too. I think it's the same trim. Like, it doesn't matter which side it's on. Pretty sure. But not 100%, but that's what I would think. But please send me that trim and let me know. I want that trim for my driver's side door on this car, so the trim is correct. Because I want that fixed. So let me know. If you're out there and you see this video, send me an email at Malibu2834yahoo.com, and you can check out a couple Plymouth videos. I got it on there too. But let me know, and I will pay for it and send it out. I'm not building a show car here. I just want it to be presentable. As long as it's presentable, not bent up, or just usable. That's all I'm looking for. So please send that to me so I can get this Bel Air trim off here and get the correct trim back on here. I want the Biscayne trim. And same thing, if anybody needs that Bel Air trim, let me know. You're welcome to it. Might even do a trade or something. I'll trade this piece of trim for the correct Biscayne trim. I don't care. I just want the Biscayne trim. I want it to be correct. Anyway, back at it. Definitely getting there. Alrighty, folks, so we got a little change of plans. I got just about everything freed up as much as I can get it freed up, so to speak. But I got to get the bumper off, and the only way we're going to get that off is we're probably going to end up having to cut the bolts off. So it's got 3 bolts on each side holding on, and got one on the I guess you call it the rod or whatever right there. One bolt right there, and you got 2 down there. And then also you got 2 down here. Let's see, yep. 2 bolts there. Then we got another bolt back here. And I'm probably just going to end up just cutting all the bolts off, because I don't like playing around with rusty old hardware, and I'm just going to cut the bolts to be done with it. So the reason I'm doing that too is we got to get the bumper off and out of the way, because these bolts are just not going to come out of the ballast. This is the lower ballast right here, and they're just not going to come out. And I'm not going to risk, you know, going in there and twisting this ballast all to pieces, because I do not want to mess it up. This stuff is too rare, and it's just like the Plymouth build. It's too rare, and why risk messing it up? So, and that's why I'm going to do what I'm going to do, because I'm not buying another lower ballast for this car. These parts are just ridiculous. But anyway, I'm going to work on that, and because it's a good ballast anyway. Get this bumper off, get it out of the way, and then that'll get me access to get up underneath so I can cut those bolt heads off. Then once I do that, then that should separate the ballast from this fender right here. And then we got to come back here, and it's a bolt that threads this way with the threads facing out that way. That's up underneath the fender. That it's a clip under there. I got to double check, but it's just the clip's broke, and the bolt's just spinning and it's stuck on there. So I got to go underneath there, figure out what I'm going to do about that. I'll probably end up just cutting the bolt, maybe. I don't know. It's going to be a little interesting on that. But that's what you got to do with these old cars. A lot of it just cutting all the bolts off. I mean, I try not to do that, especially if it's like special bolts, but just fender bolts and stuff like this. This is plain Jane 3/8/16 fender bolts. You know, it's nothing special about it. These fender bolts were used on anything, Ford, Chevrolet, Dodge, you know, pretty much they use typical 3/8/16. Not all of them are, but most of the bolts on this car are 3/8/16. And then the same way with all the other domestic vehicles too. Most of them are the same way. Not all of them, but you know, if that all makes sense. So anyway, so I'm gonna get on here, and we got to get this bolt from the bottom of this fender, get it off, cut off, whatever we got to do. Get that fender separated from the firewall, and then come underneath here and free this up from the fender. That way we can take our fender off and get this thing freed up. Once we get that off, I think it would be a lot easier. So anyway, but yeah, rust. Well, kind of rust worked in our favor on this side. Pretty sure it did. Yeah, kind of. But got one free. We still got one more. So, and I don't want to risk, I'm not just going to cut all that off, because I'm not ready to do that. I want to, you know, take my time and get this stuff off the correct way and proper way. So that way, you know, if we need to make a template or something, I don't want to just go, you know, cut all that off. Or just cut it down the middle or something. Yeah, we're not doing that. I want to take my time and do it right. So, stuff is too rare. So anyway, let me get this bumper off. And if you haven't seen, we got everything pulled off. So here's our passenger side. T3 headlights. There's our bezel. Lens. And our parking assembly. And we don't have headlights for this side. It had one broke one. I remember something about having a broke one. I can't remember. But anyway, that's gone. There's the bezel to it. Turn signal lens. And there's the assembly. This is the driver's side. And I'm just wondering if these have to go in any certain way or not. These bezels, I wonder if it matters which way they go. Yeah, I think it does. Yeah, because it looks like the screws on here are a little close together. I bet if I measure that there, I bet the distance is shorter on the top than versus the bottom. That's what it looks like. So I guess you can't really mess that up. I guess you can't put them on backwards. Anyway, I might try and play with them and try and straighten them. This one I'd probably have a little better chance with. But and why am I going to straighten them? Because until I get the money gathered up to get new ones or replacement ones, I mean, you can't really mess that up too much worse. So I'm going to try and straighten them out enough to make them usable until I can get new ones for it. So anyway, you know, it's not going to hurt nothing to try. We can try. I know I can't get it perfect, but we can at least straighten them up enough to make them usable. So we can do that until we can, you know, get replacement ones. And these will get replaced. So anyway. All right, let's get the bumper off.